Oh, because I'm Italian, I know all the famous gorillas. I see. Maybe Mr. Columbo was onto something. Yeah. Hello and welcome to Talk Spooky to Me, the Ghost Story Guys mail show. I'm Brennan Storr.
I'm Paul Westall.
This is our opportunity to hear from you, our audience. My friend, how are you doing?
I'm okay. I'm trying to deal with my football sticker addiction that appears every 2 years. I watched a great documentary over the weekend, which was fantastic.
The documentary, was this the 1,000 Women in Horror?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So you've got tons of the most talented creators, performers, directors, actors, writers in the horror genre. But it was brilliant because there was some people I'd never heard of. There were some films I'd never come across. And some of my favourites popped up. So I discovered about 12 films I'd never come across and 2 or 3 directors I was not aware of their work. And so, yeah, I recommend it highly. It was brilliant. My only negative criticism to it was only an hour and a half long. I could have watched it twice as long.
Not exactly In Search of Darkness with 6-hour episodes.
Yeah, well, you see, that's what I'm built on now.
Yeah.
If a documentary is less than 4 hours, I'm struggling. But yeah, I recommend it highly. Certainly better than Thrash. And then I accidentally watched Mortal Kombat, which I realised I hadn't seen.
Now, are you talking about the original 1995 film or the new one that came out a couple years ago?
The new one.
I'm very sorry.
I didn't think it was that bad.
Oh, okay. Hey, that's great. I just fell asleep during the sequel, so...
It's certainly not the worst film I've seen recently, but I'm sure everybody's aware of that.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I didn't hate the sequel. The fight sequences are pretty fun, but everything that has to do with not fighting, like I started to nod off. I had to get up, go get a drink of water, kind of take a little stroll, come back. Okay, they're fighting now. This is interesting. They're not fighting anymore. I am going to go wash my hair. I went to go see the Billie Eilish concert film last night, and I don't know her music, but the whole thing is directed by James Cameron. It was shot in 48 frames per second 3D. Again, I don't know her music, but in terms of a filmmaking experience or a representation of a concert, actually very cool. Because the 48 frames per second thing makes you feel, it sort of makes it feel more immediate, but it also doesn't have that sort of soap opera feel of a film because you're not looking at sets. Yes. You're looking at a real place. So yeah, it worked. And I did not fall asleep at all. So I think this says a lot.
Yeah, brilliant singer, Billy.
Yep, very talented. Very talented. Again, movie's very interesting. It's in terms of like its technique, and I mean, say what you will about pop music, she's got the presence to hold that crowd. You see why she does it. Yeah,
good luck to her. I appreciate anybody that's that talented and can hold the hordes of bastards at arm's length and just play it by her rules.
Speaking of women who hold their own, there are now 2 people who have seen the woman in white in my apartment, neither of which are me. So, folks, if you remember, about 6 months ago, maybe a little bit longer, Paul and I were recording. We had just turned everything off for the day, so the camera was still on, but nothing was being recorded. Paul said to me, "Who's at your house?" And I said, "No one, it's just me." And he said, "Well, a woman just in a white dress just walked behind you from one side to the other." And I didn't feel a thing, and there was no one in my house.
And then I logged off.
Yeah, and then he's like, "Well, enjoy.
Anyway,
good luck with that. Have a great day, you dumb mother." Yeah. And then I was murdered. It was like when that happened with Kev, when the door kept opening in his house and he was all alone.
Kev, why is your door moving? Is it? Yeah, look. Oh.
He was so not happy. He was pissed. That was great.
It did keep coming up, no.
Oh, it did. 100%. There was something going on in his house that night. Yeah, absolutely it was.
So who else has seen her?
A friend of mine. She was on her way to the bathroom, and I was just standing by the doorway. She was walking towards the bathroom. She looked towards my room, and all of a sudden she stopped. And in the middle of the day, I might add. Middle of the day, my bedroom curtains are open, and she stopped, and I said, "What's going on?" And she said, I think I just saw a woman in white walk across your bedroom, like a woman in a white dress. She said it was very quick. So yeah, the second person now to have seen that same thing in my apartment, where there is no woman in a white dress.
Cool.
Yeah, yeah, and it doesn't feel scary. It doesn't feel, spooky. It's odd for sure, but it doesn't feel negative at all, which is nice. It's just it's like, okay, there's someone else here.
Maybe she'll come with you.
Well, she can fight whatever ghost is already living down in that basement that I'm going to be renting. So that'd be nice.
Okay.
One last apartment story, folks, and we'll get to the email. So obviously I'm moving out from here in London, moving into Toronto middle of the month. Then I give up this apartment at the end of June. So the landlord came by to do a pre-move out inspection, basically tell me these are the things you got to get in order before you leave, or we're going to bill you for the cleaning. And of course, on my balcony, there were pigeons. And there are pigeons, because pigeons have been living on my balcony since before I lived here, and I just kind of got used to them. Property managers, I would say like late 70s, sort of seems to have like cured as they've aged. Very neatly dressed, but very severe.
Yeah.
And she walks out in the balcony, and she looks in there's one plant pot I still have out there. It's not, again, it's been here the whole time. And yeah, there's a couple chicks with their mother in there. And she goes, "You have pigeons living here." I said, yeah, I know. "Are you going to kill them?"
What?
Right? That's what I fucking said. No. "I can do it." I said, "You will not." What psychopath behavior? Jesus fucking Christ. I said, "Look, by the time I move out, they will be gone. They'll be grown. They'll be out. I'll throw away the pot. There'll be they will not be able to roost in the pot. And will they try and roost on the balcony anyways? Absolutely, because they've lived here longer than I have. But I can only do so much." But she actually said, like, I have a very cruel heart, so it doesn't bother me." I know, bitch. I know.
Fucking hell. Why does somebody think that that's like a flex?
I know, right? All my humanity's been burned away. Isn't that cool? No, man. You're not John Rambo.
Do you think she's like a pigeon version of Countess Bathory? And that's why she was looking old? Because she's not bit the heads off pigeons recently.
Well, whether she is or she isn't, she's not getting my fucking pigeons. I'll tell you that much. She said to me, "Well, I'll send someone to do it. While I live in this apartment, no one will touch those fucking pigeons."
A fucking hitman.
Right? Yeah. Well, there is this dead-eyed Slavic lady who does all the mopping, and I assume that's who they'll send.
I'll have to fight her off with a mop. Get out.
Oh, no, I don't think I could take her on. She's a very scary lady.
Yeah, nobody's had when you pushed him downstairs, mate.
That's fair. I'm going to tell my lawyer that's what she said. So anyways, yeah, so I'm waiting. I went out and told the pigeons, I've informed them that I'm leaving. I'm informed them, like, once you're grown, I got to throw away the pot because they're going to hurt you guys. And, but it pissed me off. I've watched like 5 or 6 generations of pigeons grow up on this balcony in the year and a bit I've been here. They're not bothering anyone. And again, if you want to put like sort of, what do you call it? Like sort of pigeon, anti-pigeon shit on the balcony. You want to put like spikes or whatever so they can't land there? Fine. But you want to snap its neck like fucking Shang Tsung? What is wrong with you?
Next time she comes round, cut a bit of her hair off, right? And you need to get some twigs and a bowl, and you just make an incantation, snap the twig, and the pigeons will eat her face off.
All right. Well, while I go watch Weapons and take notes, let's answer some listener mail.
Our courteous and efficient staff is on call 24 hours a day to serve all your supernatural elimination needs.
We're ready to believe you.
All right. So since the last episode, we ended with a very sad story, and the last couple episodes I feel have ended with sad stories. We're going to switch it up. We're going to start this episode with a sad story. Get all the sad stuff out of the way.
Tissues at the ready, everyone.
So this comes from Lori. Lori says, "This is in response to your recent episode, Here's to You, Molly Moo. I firmly believe the hardest and most compassionate thing a pet parent has to do is to decide to end their pet's pain. I've had to do it many times. Cats, dogs, and pet rats. It is a very specific kind of pain and torment, but it is a choice of love and self-sacrifice and should never be burdened by feelings of guilt. I have a pet ghost story for you. I had a large black cat named Bagheera, so named because he genuinely had the conformation of a miniature panther. Baggy was determined to thwart my good intentions of keeping him safely as an indoor cat. He escaped every chance he got. On one such jailbreak, he was hit by a car, and it broke my heart. The next day, I was sitting in the tub having a good cry. For some reason, a hot bath is always my first choice when I need to just cry and not be burdened by other sympathy or prying questions. So there I am, crying my guts out in the bath in the middle of the afternoon, when I hear the distinct sound of a cat collar and a furry body rubbing against the bathroom door. I thought it was Jezebel, my partner's cat. Later, I heard my partner come home, and I dragged myself out of the tub to rejoin the world. He happened to mention that Jezebel had come in with him. She was just as much against being held in captivity as Baggy had been. I had been completely alone in the apartment while in the bath. No living soul was there with me. I think it was my Bagheera coming back to say goodbye. Though there were other weird things that went on in that apartment, I have never heard Baggy's collar again. He was truly free to do as he damn well pleased, thank you very much. As an aside, I thought it was funny that Paul mentioned tortoises. When my son turned 18, he got himself a baby tortoise. He said he wanted a pet that would grow old with him. I can't remember the type of tortoise it is, but it is likely to live 80 or more years and to get about 10 to 12 inches across. Won't mature till around age 10, and is named Barnabus. I figure that means I'll have at least one grandchild in my future that has to inherit Barnabas. My son and I even had a long philosophical conversation about how the person who will end up taking care of Barnabas hasn't been born yet. I will include pics of Barnabas so everyone can see how cute and tiny a tortoise he is. My current cat Remington is very fond of the mobile rock and likes to sit on the heated enclosure and hang out. Much love, gents. Thanks for being you. Lori.
That's a great name for a tortoise and a great name for a cat.
1000%. Gotta tell you, man, tortoises, I am obsessed. I assume it's the tism, but when Nick and I were at the Bristol Zoo once, they have, or had, I think he might have passed recently, but they had a giant tortoise there. Mm-hmm. Huge bugger. And I could have sat there all day. I could just watch this big fucker just slowly toddling around, munching on grass. I don't know what it is. They're just beguiling. Tortoises and capybaras. If there is a heaven, there is an equal amount of both there.
Indeed. Well, I suppose the thing is as well, you've got to be careful with tortoises because some of them have lived, because obviously there's the whole Harriet scandal that occurred several years ago, wasn't there?
I'm not familiar.
So Harry, as they thought, because this is the problem with tortoises, sometimes you're not really sure what kind of sex they are till they reach a certain age, or you've got to know exactly where to look, shall we say. It's not as easy as you would think. Harry was apparently collected by Darwin on the Beagle in around 1850 something, and she was quite mature by that age. And she ended up in Australia, and she lived with the Irwins at their zoo. And when she died in 2006, she was estimated to be 175 years old. But, as you may gather, I think it was only in 1980s they realised that she was a girl, not a boy. And so they changed it from Harry to Harriet.
That's fantastic.
But there's plenty of zoos out there that have got tortoises that are over 100 years old.
Oh, I love it. They are the coolest. They are just the coolest. Nick and I recently watched the series Mr. Mercedes, which is adaptation of a Stephen King novel trilogy. And the main character, played by Brendan Gleeson, has a pet tortoise. And if I could aim myself, directionally speaking in life, towards looking like Brendan Gleeson and having a tortoise at that age, I think I've done okay. It's my career trajectory.
Go for it. Reach for the stars. Next up, Sleepy Burrito 87 via the medium of YouTube says, my husband once had to rush a goose with an umbrella, purely because it was patrolling the door to the building he was trying to exit. Don't F with a goose.
Sleepy Burrito, never F with a goose. I actually saw a video of a guy who one of them was sort of menacing him. So he kind of went, oh, and lay down on the ground and like facing away from it. And it bit his ass just on principle. But then it just walked away, like making the noise it makes. Like it had just, yeah, like it was Rocky after knocking down, after knocking down Apollo.
Apparently playing dead is the way to get rid of it.
Interesting. Well, okay. Well, if I end up in that situation again, that's what I'm going to do. I actually went down a different road the other day, or a different side of the road, because there was a family of geese on the other side. NB2879 on YouTube says, you two are friggin' amazing. The wait for each episode drop is painful. GSG is the #1 pod in my ears at work or whatever else I'm doing. Simply perfect. Thanks, y'all. And thank you. Ordinarily, I would not include something that was just complimentary and with nothing else going on, but I'm trying to get better at taking the compliments. You know, after doing this 9 years, I gotta just be like, no, it's okay. It's okay. Someone said something nice to me.
Yes. Embrace it.
So that's it. Yeah. I think a lot of people get into this because they need the accolades. They need someone to be like, man, you are the most special boy, and kind of pet their head slowly. Whereas I simply really struggle with praise still. So they're like, you're great. I'm like, fuck you. And I have to, no, dial that back. Dial that back. They're not being sarcastic. They're genuinely enthused.
Yeah. Well, you just be like, you don't want to live in my fucking head, son.
Oh, I'm Rorschach now. That's good.
Somebody once said that to me. I wish I were you, mate. I said, you fucking don't.
Yeah. And yet, we invited someone on the show. I won't say who because we're still trying to figure out scheduling. But someone I'd love to have a conversation with. He's like, oh, can I listen to your podcast before I decide? Yeah, man, go for it. Are you Paul or the other one? Fuck me. I'm but a humble servant. Yeah, choke. You think this is way too funny.
Fuck you now. I think I nearly brought up my hot dog again there. I'm all right now.
I still haven't messaged him back. I'm like, well, my ego's got to recover from that. I'll talk to you later.
Do you want me to message him?
Fuck you. Fuck you. I'm going to wake up to all the passwords being changed one day.
And there's me and Charlize Theron talking about the Hibagon.
Well, hey, you know, if you got to lose to the best. That's what I say.
Moving on.
Yeah, moving on. Anyways.
Paul's disappeared. Where is he, Brennan?
Qatar. He's in Qatar. Working for Al Jazeera in Qatar.
The new football correspondent for Al Jazeera.
Yeah.
Next up, Kai Bloom 6777 says, we moved into a place last year with a finished basement and a horrifying concrete room at the back with a drain in the floor and a built-in mouldering slab of a work table, we hope, with a medieval-looking clamp thing with a wheel on the side. Maybe it's a rack, actually, now I describe it.
Well, it did occur to me.
We immediately dubbed it the murder room, and we stay out of there at night. Only at night, though, I notice.
Frankly, I think that's when you need to be in there. You got to keep an eye on shit. You got to pull a Soraya and just put cameras all over your fucking house.
I think we need pictures of this.
Yeah, I think we do, too.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Kai Bloom 6777. Pics or it didn't happen. What else would it be for? A clamp with a wheel.
You could suggest maybe it could be used for engines, rebuilding engines, and you'd need for weight distribution and hoist it up. I'm playing devil's advocate here because I know where I think it probably used for, but anyway. It's like one of those conversations we once had at work and we were talking about things and somebody just went, yeah, I've got a sex hammer. And we were like, what? What the fuck? Wait. Why do we need to know this?
Yeah, please don't tell me anymore. I'll give you anything you ask. Just don't tell me anymore.
I don't need to know how your 2 children have been conceived. Thank you very much.
Next up, we have a letter from Tracy. Tracy says, hello, lovely boys. I live in Australia, born in Castleford. We have a program called Australian Story, which is produced by the ABC, the equivalent of the BBC. The program is very well respected. Recently, they produced a program about the Westall UFO visitation. I'd love to know your thoughts on this. And Tracy included a link. I haven't actually tried to watch it. Quite often this stuff is geo-locked. But I'm very curious to know what they say. Because weirdly, I was talking to Soraya and Saxton on an episode of Where Did the Road Go a little while back, a couple days ago, actually. Neither of them had heard of Westall, which really surprised me.
Well, I'm all in on Westall. I think it happened. I don't think any of the witnesses are lying. It's a very, very, very odd case. And it's 60 years ago this year.
Yeah. And so for folks who don't know, can you quickly just run down the quick facts of the case?
Yeah, certainly. It was a Westall High School, I believe. There was an object seen by a number of pupils who saw this object land in a field adjacent to the school. Obviously, this caused pandemonium. Some teachers came out, one of whom took several pictures of the craft. And it was there for a few minutes, and then it took off and flew off in front of them all and disappeared. And within an hour, the place was mobbed by mysterious army personnel. The field that it had landed in, somebody turned up and mowed the grass away because there was a landing spot where it had burnt the ground. That was all cut away. The witnesses, the children, and the teachers were threatened they would lose their jobs if they repeated this story. The teacher that took the pictures had them taken off him. And the children were basically told that they had all seen a special craft that the Australian Air Force was testing, and it had to land by accident. There is a brilliant documentary on Prime about Westall, which I would recommend, which has lots of interviews with primary witnesses and stuff.
That's Westall 66, right?
Yes, it's really good, really balanced. I would say it's probably a more conclusively convincing case than the Ariel School incident in Zimbabwe. Next up is from Heather. And Heather says, I'm nowhere near caught up yet, but I've started on this one anyway, so I can answer Paul's sort of question. After putting my cat Cupid to sleep and losing my mum within the space of a month last year, I got bogged down with a lot of details and then got sucked down the rabbit hole to Baldur's Gate 3. I've missed this podcast a great deal, and it is a joy hearing your voices in my ears again. This was not the way I had expected the second season of Daredevil to go, but I am quite enjoying it. Yes, I certainly enjoyed the last 10 minutes. I'm going to see Wilton Fisk punching people to death through a wall. Why not?
Yeah, that was intense. No, I dug it. And Heather, it's great to have you back. I'm so sorry for your losses. But Baldur's Gate 3, that's a good way to spend your time. I've kind of gone through a period of diminished mental health the last little bit, and I just found I played Halo. I've never played the Halo games before. I bought the collection for, I don't know, $5 or something on Xbox, and I've just been blasted my way through Aliens, trying to get myself back right again. And so sometimes that's just what you got to do. Next up, we have a pair of comments from Spotify. First is Nick O'Gorman, and Nick, of course, submitted a story to us about a print shop in Victoria that we read on a recent episode. Nick says, the print shop I worked at that is haunted is Passion Sports. Tried to look into the history of the building to see if I could find out anything about who might have died there, but no luck. I'm not familiar with that building or with any stories from that building, but I did look to see where it was. And it is in the industrial part of Victoria, which does have a very hinky energy. But that could be for any number of reasons, between just, something spooky there, or the fact that you could, get knifed on a good night.
What was there before that?
I honestly don't know. I don't know what was in that part of town. I know I very briefly belonged to a co-working space called Club Quench, and it was open 24 hours. And I remember I would hang out there at night, and boy, oh boy, did it also had a very unique energy to it. I won't say that it was haunted because I never saw anything, but it definitely had a vibe. I didn't like it. It's not that I didn't like it, but there were some nights where you got the impression that something else was there as well. Mm. It's also the place where I learned that you cannot drink a bunch of carbonated water like you do regular water because it has a certain effect on you. Yeah. So if you're having any trouble with your digestion, things are not moving the way they should, go drink a bunch of carbonated water. That'll right itself real quick. Because they had a tap of free carbonated water, and I love fizzy. So free fizzy on tap? Hell yes, my son. Oh, it's like the time I ate a whole head of raw broccoli. Don't do it.
Yeah, it's like that first hit of fizzy pop after you've just had a doobie. And all your mouth's dry. Oh, and it's like you're drinking the elixir of life. Yes, talking of dodgy places, I was going to ask you your help because
sure.
I was watching a program not Unsolved Mysteries. What was I watching? History's Greatest Mysteries with Lawrence Fishburne.
Okay.
Season 7. And they did an episode on the famous mobster, San Giancana.
Yep.
And I wanted to know what's the best book I could read about him, because it completely set off all my conspiracy alerts.
Oh, geez, I'll have to look. Offhand, I can't think of one. But I mean, yeah, Giancana was a central figure in a lot of that kind of conspiracy nest that happened in the late 50s, early 60s. You know, I mean, he knew, what's his name? Joe Kennedy Sr.
Mm-hmm.
And some people think that he helped fix the primary for Kennedy in, I want to say Illinois, but I don't know if that's right. And which allowed Kennedy to get on the ballot to run against Nixon. And and then of course, after once he was elected, he hired Bobby to be his attorney general. Bobby publicly humiliated Giancana in a Senate hearing. And some people think that's why what happened with John, because some people claim that when you retaliate, you hit the boss, you don't hit the underboss. Whether that's true or not, who knows? But yeah, fascinating guy, Giancana. I'll have a think.
Because I didn't know. This is what set my conspiracy alarm off, right? Because obviously there was the Church Committee, which was the investigation into the mafia CIA deals that they'd done throughout the 50s and 60s, where they basically showed that the CIA had been employing the mafia to do stuff, and vice versa. I did not know that Hoffa was called to be a witness at that, and he disappeared. And then 8 days before the Church Committee was supposed to start, that's when Giancana was murdered in his house. And the only mafiosi who testified was a guy called Rosselli, I think.
Oh, Johnny Rosselli.
He vanished after the trial and was found a year later chopped up in pieces in an oil drum in Mexico. But there's nothing to see here, guys. It's just coincidence. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? What?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, man.
What?
Yeah. I mean, for a more modern example, how long was Whitey Bulger an FBI informant?
Oh, years.
Yeah. So he was allowed to do all the evil shit he was doing because he was feeding information back to the federal government. Like, I mean, this is not a political show. We're not going to spend too much time on this, but yeah, when you start pulling at those threads, culture was weird back then. It was way easier for these groups to mix. And so it's hard to, it's like when you look at Charles Manson, he was friends with the fucking Dennis Wilson. So he ended up meeting a lot of celebrities at like Beach Boy parties. And this was just a thing that happened back then. These groups were a little more porous and you had all this crossover. But yeah, the government has for the longest time, J. Edgar Hoover refused to even fucking admit that there was a mafia. It wasn't until the Appalachian meeting that was finally pushed out into the light. But for a long time, everyone was like, well, the mafia is not real. And honestly, I mean, I'm Italian, I'm Catholic, I'm not proud of this, but the Italian Catholics still to this day, some of them will perpetuate this myth that the mafia is not real. They will tell you to your face, the mafia is a lie made up to make Italian people look bad.
Who keeps blowing all the judges up then?
Well, sometimes plumbing, bad plumbing, bad weather, Maybe they had something they were allergic to for lunch. Yeah, sometimes cars is what's Cillian Murphy been up to lately. But,
Telling people that Ireland's not in Britain, probably.
Yeah. Someone called him British again. But yeah, no, that's a thing. There was, was it Giancana? I'm trying to remember if it was also Giancana. There was one mafioso that was being too public. He was because he was really beating the drum of like the Italian American League and how we're being oppressed because there is no such thing as the mafia. And all the other mafiosi were like, man, shut the fuck up. There's a mafia. Like, we are it. We are the guys. I know there's a fabulous book called The Five Families, which is a massive, it's huge, but it's if you want like a huge deep dive into the mafia, in the history of the mafia in America, it's a brilliant read. And then if you can get through it, because it's boring as fuck, The Sixth Family, I can't remember the guy who wrote it, but it's about the Montreal mob. But there's also a lot of information there about kind of backfills some stuff on the New York mob as well.
Yeah, I watched a documentary about the Five Families. That was quite interesting.
Sorry, it was Joseph Colombo Sr. who formed the Italian-American Civil Rights League. Get fucked.
Yeah, real oppression, that, innit?
Yeah.
We're only making $1 billion this month.
But we're just humble metal workers.
We're just in a union.
Yeah, that's it. Well, you got a problem with that? Come back here in the kitchen. We got to talk to you. Go start your car. Killian's going to walk you to your car.
Have you seen that clip talking about Killian, where somebody interviewing him says, Matt Damon says, you're one of the worst people to have dinner with ever. And he just goes, not bothered. He
Doesn't give a single fuck. Bless him. He's a treasure. The man's a treasure.
Yep. Even Odysseus can't entertain him.
Well, before Paul and I get started on a 12-hour conversation about the new trailer for the Odyssey, let's I will say, yeah, Nick, I will look into that. I'll see if I can find out anything else about Passion Sports. But again, I think it's part of the area. I really do.
Next up, Kayla Jolene says, my team came second in trivia. Usually it's my husband that carries the team, but they had 2 categories of unsolved mysteries and cryptozoology. I told them to double the points in those categories, and I got all of them. I hope I make Paul proud. You certainly did, Kayla. Gold stars all round. Well done. Keep it up.
Hell yes. 1,000%.
Yes, as we return to the quiz tomorrow to defend our titles.
Oh, good. I've missed my favorite podcast, which is Drunken Messages from Paul on Facebook. Our next story comes from Hillary via email. Hillary says, I know how you love a story of comfort and communication from those who've passed on. Last summer, we lost my mom unexpectedly. She went out for her nightly swim at the beach in the small lake in her neighborhood where I'd grown up. It was one of her favorite things to do. I know she's close. I've felt a reassuring hug, as has my nephew. She's shown us things she wants us to have from her house. She pops into our minds at unexpected times. 2 nights ago, my sister had a vivid dream. She was napping in my mom's bed at my parents' house. She had to get up because her husband's uncles had arrived unexpectedly and needed her for something. Before she went to them, my mom, who was in the kitchen cleaning or cooking or doing whatever she was doing, had her come to her. There was a bluebird trapped on the screened-in porch. So my mom gave her specific directions on how to open the door and set it free. She shared this dream with my mom's sisters and I yesterday morning. In the afternoon, one of my mom's sisters sent us a message that her brother's liver cancer had spread to his brain. He was home receiving hospice care and likely had 2 to 3 days left. It was suddenly so clear that my sister's dream was a message from my mom, that her little brother needed help finding his way to freedom from all of his suffering, and that she was preparing for him to join her. Our family honors our native heritage. Our other uncle arrived at his side and started a drumming ceremony. It brings you closer to your ancestors. And at the first beat, the door was opened, and he understood that he could be free. And he moved on from this world, his pain, his suffering, and his fear, and into the safety and love of his sister and the rest of his family. Hillary. Well, Hillary, thank you for sharing that with us. I'm so sorry for your loss, but at the same time, that's a wonderful way to go. Surrounded by the ones who love you as they help you make your way. Reminds me, there's, are you familiar with I'm probably not because it's country and western, but it's very good country and western. He's a singer-songwriter named Townes Van Zandt.
I've heard of him.
So he has a song called the Catfish Song. It was the first song I ever heard of by him. I was working at Radio Shack, and it came on the radio. And this is what reminds me of this. It starts down at the bottom of the dirty old river, down where the reeds and the catfish play. There lies a dream that's as soft as the water. There lies a bluebird that's flown away. And just puts me in mind of your story, Hillary.
It is interesting how birds can signify things such as that. Like, it's robins here in the UK. It's the robin that sort of is the sort of messenger from the beyond. So if a robin turns up or you see one, it's considered a relative or a loved one that's passed coming to check in on you.
I mean, I sort of assume if it's my family, I don't know, it's if there's an animal that smokes, like a chimpanzee that's been taught to smoke cigarettes, that's what I would be visited by. That's all I know. It's my people. But yeah, the bird thing is nice.
What did they call that one? That chimp. And he smoked cigarettes, and people often thought he was a hybrid because he got a genetic disorder that made him look a bit unusual.
Oh, I don't know. I was thinking of Clyde from Every Which Way But Loose, but probably not him.
There was a very famous one. Let me find his name. That's not who I was looking for. I have, however, discovered that Azalea is a 19-year-old female chimpanzee who lives at the Korean Central Zoo in Pyongyang, North Korea, who is known for her habit of smoking a packet of cigarettes a day after being trained by staff to ignite cigarettes with a lighter.
Guys, why'd you train her? That seems... Why?
Oliver, that's his name.
Oh, okay.
So Oliver, if you look for Oliver, he was a performing chimpanzee who, incredibly, lived until he was 65. He only died in 2012. He was born in 1957.
Oh, wow.
He was often put forward as a missing link due to the fact that he preferred to walk about upright and looked a bit odd. He was allegedly taken from the Congo. But if you look at Oliver the chimp, you will think, goodness. But yes, he was a bit of a thingy, a bit of a strange guy. He spent his final years co-living with a female known as Raisin, and she looked after him.
That's very sweet. I'm glad Oliver had someone with him in his twilight years.
Yeah, he was found dead in his bed, and Raisin was hugging him when they found him.
We should all be so lucky.
So yes, I'm surprised you've not heard of Oliver the Chimp. He's a very interesting case.
Oh, because I'm Italian, I know all the famous gorillas. I see. Maybe Mr. Columbo was onto something. Yeah.
Well, go and set a league up about it or something.
Gonna carry the torch forward.
But yes, I'll give you one more weird fact before the next story. Have you seen this? Have you seen this seal scandal that's happened in Maui?
Oh yes, I quite like the video of the was it there in their legislature where the representatives shows a video of the dude who tried to throw a rock at a seal just getting absolutely shit kicked. And he's like, well, we don't want to encourage violence, but at the same time, we have a letter of commendation for this person. If they ever want to come forward, we understand people are trying to keep his identity secret. And we don't necessarily think it's a bad thing that people who come here and try to brutalize our animals and, cause mayhem, that they are gently corrected.
Yes. I think it's the best example of FAFO I've seen this year, that.
Absolutely. And folks, if you haven't seen this, there is a man who throws a very heavy rock at a seal and just misses it, thankfully. But he is set upon by a Hawaiian gentleman who kicks the absolute shit out of him. And it is wonderful to see.
Yeah. Nobody messes with Lani the seal.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's one of the rarest seal breeds as well. Monk seals.
Yeah, no, everything was wrong about that. It was insane that he even tried to do that.
I can't comprehend, even on a level of arrogance or entitlement, how anybody can think, oh, I'm going to throw a rock at a seal and somebody's going to see me and I'm just going to try and be really even more obnoxious and have their entire life ruined for 1 second of fucking stupidity that there was no reason to do it at all. I mean, quite how you think you're trying to impress a woman by, oh, I know where I'll impress this girl. I'll throw a rock at an animal.
Yeah. Well, what is that? One of nature's beautiful creatures? Allow me to destroy it.
Yeah. I'll pay fine. It doesn't matter. I'm rich. Not anymore, mate. Yeah.
I didn't realize that he said that about being rich.
Yeah, he says it in the video. The video, when it's filmed, he actually shouts. Somebody goes, "You'll get fined for that." He goes, "I don't care. I'm rich enough."
Well, time to beat the merciless shit out of you.
Absolutely. I don't think he was hit enough, personally. Nope. I think he should have rocks thrown at him till he's dead. And then you get a necromancer in, right? Bring him back to life and do it again.
I'm here for this.
Leave it with me.
All right. We have one last email for today.
And it is from Ruby, who says, "Hello, Brennan and Paul. I have been listening to the show since 2018. And I know you get this a lot, but you have truly been there for me through thick and thin. Genuine internet uncles, if there ever were any. Oh. In 2018, I was an 18-year-old university student in the thick of a bachelor's degree, and your podcast provided me with some much-needed entertainment and companionship. Fast forward now to 2026. I am an educator with 2 kids of my own. Thanks for being such a light throughout all those years, from stress exam cramming to newborn witching hours. I have a quick spooky story that I'd love to share with you. Disclaimer, it's not my own but one of an ex-partner whom I know won't mind if I share. He's a very down-to-earth person, strongly sceptical of basically everything, and I'm inclined to believe him. When he first told me this story, it gave me goosebumps. When he was a little boy, just 8 years old, he, his mother and stepfather moved into a new house in a quiet cul-de-sac. His mother and stepfather were excited to have purchased the property, their first home. Ever since he was little, my ex-partner had insisted on sleeping with the door open every night without fail. The first night they moved into the new house, he asked his mum to close the door. She thought it was odd, but did as he asked. This went on for a week of closed doors and poor sleep, before his mother finally asked him what was going on and why he wanted the door closed. This wee 8-year-old boy said to her, "The girl in the bathroom stares into my room, and I don't want her watching me while I'm sleeping." His mum went as white as a sheet. They moved out of that house after around a year, despite having owned it. As soon as they moved out, he resumed sleeping with his door open. When he turned 16 and happened to mention the house one day, his mother recounted the story. She told him about what he'd said to her and why she had been so frightened by it. The reason they had managed to purchase the house was because it was selling cheap. The teenage daughter of the family who owned it previously had hung herself in the bathroom, which was directly opposite his bedroom. When they moved in, his stepfather needed to fix the bathroom door because it was still hanging off its hinges from when the police had broken it down getting to her. Just a wee spooky experience I want to share with you all. Thank you again for all you do. It is deeply appreciated. Kindest regards, Ruby. Thank you very much, Ruby. Blimey.
That is a lot. Good Lord.
It's the door, though, I think. The fact
Which
that
part of it?
They're still hanging off the hinges.
Yeah. God damn. I mean, it's one of those things when you have a situation like this where something's validated like that, it becomes impossible to ignore. It's like when my friends saw the woman. You're like, okay, that's two people now. Two people who are not connected. I mean, they're connected via me, but yeah, it's like, okay. I don't know how you look at that. Like Dave Arcudi, who had sent in a bunch of stories for our Never Trust a Skeptic episode, he reiterated in a recent comment, "This is why I said never trust a skeptic." And I am with Dave on this, because when you've got shit like this, I don't know how you walk away from that going, nah.
Infrasound.
Of course, I forgot about mighty infrasound. Jesus H. No, Ruby, that's fascinating. Thank you so much, and thank you for listening all these years. It's a genuine honor to have been part of your life for so long. It's I was 33 when I started this show. I want to say, I wasn't quite 34 yet. I was 33 and with a couple months to go, and I am now 43.
And I've been there since episode 1, listening.
Yeah, man. What a ride.
Strange how it works, isn't it? Here I am, sat at home as a fan, listening to you chat with Shannon on Into the Fray all those years ago.
And now I'm just the other guy. That's fine. I'm not going to carry this with me until the end of my day.
Perhaps we should change the name of the show to The Other Ghost Story, guys.
Oh, man. If that guy ever comes on the show, I'm going to have a hard time not ribbing him about it.
It's like one of my friends said, "Oh, you're still doing the podcast?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "I don't listen to it. I'm not interested, but I'm glad it's doing well." So it's all right, mate. It's all right.
No, honestly, I like it better if my friends don't listen to the show, because then I have something to talk about when I see them, because otherwise they hear all my stories. Man, there was this time. No, I heard about one on the show. Fuck. Cool.
Yeah, I know, mate. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah. You did what? Oh, yeah. Pooh. Right laugh.
Oh, man. All right. Well, that's the end of our listener mail for this time around. Before we go, though, I want to give a shout out to a couple independent booksellers I met on Independent Bookstore Day. They are Sumerian Wares. And if you're into high fantasy, especially hard to find high fantasy, Sumerian Wares is your guy. I'm actually wearing his shirt here.
Cool.
Yeah, I bought a shirt off him, and I also bought a copy of James Herbert's Lair from him. He happened to have that in the catalog. Yeah.
Have you read the first book?
No, so that I just found out The Rats is the first book, so I've got to grab Rats.
Domain.
Okay, so I got to grab Rats first. But he had like I want to say like a 1970 something paperback for $7. So I thought that's a done deal because I've got it at the same time as the shirt. But yeah,
don't read it at dark.
That's easily done, especially since I'm going to be living in a basement by the time I get around to reading it.
Yeah. I mean, I've often said this. I made the mistake. Well, I didn't make the mistake. My elder cousin, who I think knew exactly what he was doing, gave me the Rats to read when I was 9.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I had nightmares for a week.
Yep. I mean, based on everything I've heard, I read it when I was 13, and that kind of fucked me up. So, I can't imagine what that would have done.
Yeah. Amusingly as well, I didn't realise when I was young that you could spell Keith a different way. And so, till I was about 13 and I met somebody from Ireland, I thought one of the characters in the Rats was called Keogh.
Oh!
So I didn't realise it was the Irish spelling of Keith. It's like, Keogh? What name's Keogh? I've never heard of anybody called Keogh.
Oh, so that creepy little Irish dude that everyone's a fan of, he's Barry Keith.
Yeah.
Not Barry Keogh, he's Barry Keith. Yeah. He looks like a Barry Keith, I will say. So that fits. That little guy weirds me out.
Yeah. I love James Herbert. He's so underrated and he's dearly missed.
Oh, I'm excited to dive into his stuff. But yeah, I just wanted to give a shout out to Vulture's Nest Books and Sumerian Wares. I'll put a link to both places in the show notes, but you can order, they're Canadian booksellers, but you can order from them online. Tons of great stuff. Always going to estate sales, finding cool new books. Ex Mortis Books is another great one here in Ontario. But they're a little bit bigger now, and these other guys are kind of starting up. But nice guys, and just they love the shit out of books. And of course, whether or not you love the shit out of books, I mean, you should, but if you don't, that's okay. Work on it. You can reach us via email at ghoststoryguys@gmail.com. You can also find us on Facebook as the Ghost Story Guys Cabin. That's our private group. And we're also on there as the Ghost Story Guys Podcast. That's our page. We're on Instagram as The Ghost Story Guys. We're on Reddit as r/Ghost Story Guys Podcast. And I think that's all the places. And of course, you can you can fill out the form at ghoststoryguys.com. And if you want early access to ad-free episodes, bonus conversations, and so much more, click the link in the show notes or head to patreon.com/ghoststoryguys to support us financially. You will be very deeply appreciated. You'll also be shouted out on the next story show. And you can become also a Cabinista on Apple Podcasts. That gets you much of the same stuff. Paul, my friend, where can everyone find you online?
You can find Mysteries and Monsters lurking on most social media sites, sharing weird memes that make me laugh at 1 a.m. when I'm stoned. Or you can also find Mysteries and Monsters across all podcast sites.
Fabulous. I'm largely the truth on Threads, Instagram, Blue Sky, and Letterboxd. You can also find my horror fiction show, Fear Daily, co-authored with Brandon Scheck Snyder, everywhere fine podcasts live. You can find me reading audiobooks on Audible, or you can head to my personal website at largelythetruth.com. And of course, it would hardly be an episode of Talk Spooky without a song. This time around, we are proud to present one of my fellow Canadians on this show. In fact, someone from here in London, Ontario. Our featured artist is Misha Bauer, with her latest single, Surrender. Misha is a writer, musician, and performer I was lucky enough to bump into at Little Wren Books here in London a couple months back. In fact, we're actually at a really great point because Surrender came out in March, and her next single, Eclipse, will be out on June 1st. So again, this is London's Misha Bauer with Surrender. If you like what you hear, make sure to search for Misha Bauer wherever you get your tunes. You can also check the show notes for links to her social media and her Bandcamp. Also, speaking of Little Wren Books, you guys might remember me talking about an old friend of mine, Liz Johnston, who has a book out. It's called The Fall Down Effect. She will be at Little Wren on July 16th, doing a signing and reading of that book. So if you are in the area, if you're a fan of literature, I strongly suggest you head over to Little Wren for Liz Johnston's reading of The Fall Down Effect on July 16th. All right, folks. Thank you so much for listening. I know I say it every week, but it's true. We couldn't do it without you. We will be back next week with episode number 241, but until then, we will leave you with Misha Bauer and Surrender.